Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Elial in this incarnation. Tomorrow we have the moon in Pisces. We have the new moon that begins the path that leads us to the first lunar eclipse of March 14th of South Node in Virgo. And in short, I'm going to talk about that because of their strength. We have the tendency to feel it before the strength of eclipses. And of course, it is more powerful than a common full moon. So coming back to what is being manifested right now with all the Piscean energy, the portal of the North Node opened and activated by Neptune, and in a few days by Mercury in Pisces too, and therefore they are all creating this opposition with the South Node in Virgo, which is an invitation to let go of patterns linked with that. But I wanted to make this reflection on Neptune and what is showing in this contact with North Node, because this is one of the last passages in Pisces. Because from 2026, Neptune is going to move to Aries, and it is not going to come back to Pisces in 150 years. And it is showing what we need to take from this energy, which represents the true connection, the true internal connection, to identify what is the shadow, which means disconnection from life. And for the people that we are in touch with the astrological language, we know that when a planet is saying goodbye to a sign, and also when it enters, especially the lower ones, it is a moment where the energy it is manifesting with a lot of strength. And Neptune still has another passage in here in 2025. I mean, at the end of March, it is going to enter in Aries, but at the final end of 2025, it is going to come back to Pisces. So the last year we experimented this in October with Pluto in Capricorn. We had an activation also of Mars and there at that moment, but that was really intense. So with this, I am not trying to generate anxiety because of the future events. It is to know ourselves in the middle of this immense change that we cannot control. And therefore, there is no sense in fearing or fighting or battling with we cannot control, because our true power, it is in this internal connection, which is this information of the divinity, the Insof, the cosmic intelligence, God, or whatever thing you want to call it, that is expressing through us, that is communicating through us. And this divine connection that for so long humans distorted by the will of power, through religions majorly, they have tried to make us believe that we can only find that in something external. But now that the great expansion of the consciousness for all humanity is imminent, it is the same how many people are aware of this or not. It is the same how many apparent opposition is there, because when it is tried to stop the own evolutionary nature of universe, this gains more impulse. It gains more impulse. So in the last centuries of humanity, we could observe that perhaps because of this extreme of superstition in the Middle Age, that is still on track today, because there are many people that believe that a ritual of witchcraft or black magic that has more power than their own decisions and the energy that they are sustaining inside, which I think that is a distortion, of course. But I think because of all of that, those things, the excess of rationalism appeared, and it could be also a form of fanatism and of disconnection, because the denial of the energetical dimensions of reincarnation, of that we are contained in this higher consciousness that is neither random or accidental. So all of that, the denial of all of that, leads us to the disconnection and the loss of sense and purpose in here. But also, we could see that from the entrance of Neptune in Pisces in 2011, other lines or forms of, forms that they adopted this mask of the spiritual, because actually I think they represented an escapism of what is being rejected of the human experience. So this has been accompanied of these false masters, we could call them that perhaps with a little bit of information but without a practice in the daily life, They could invoke people that are looking for magical solutions when changes are processes and they take work too. But I think that everything has a purpose, and going through these kind of experiences, it is also could be also a great learning to listen to ourselves internally. So, energetical therapies and other tools there are, from my perspective, there are certain tools that could be more functional than others. But well, all of these things can be a breach of internal connection, but they are not going to accomplish that function if we are pretending that things have to be solved from the outside. The genuine spiritual path, which is this infinite revelation of light while we are alive in this plane, doesn't depend on a book, on energetical therapy, nor a person, but it is a practice day to day of reunite inside what is in conflict, to take that inside, and then taking that from that coherence into actions on the outside. But as much as the book, the therapy, or the knowledge of other person are there as a confirmation of something that we perceived intuitively, that could signify also to bring something to consciousness, something that was always there, because that is a revelation, in fact, that things were already there, everything is already there, but it is hidden, it is not revealed. So we are aware, we are revealing. So with that information, we have the possibility to make decisions from that connection with the soul. And when we become conscious about something in the experience, we cannot look into the other side. We cannot sustain this denial that represents the shadow of Pisces, because that produces a great discomfort inside, much more than the moment where we weren't aware of that. So the energy of Pisces could be also this suffering experience when we are rejecting life, when we are disconnecting from everything that when we are disconnecting from the fact that everything has a sense, even if we don't totally get it right now. And those kind of crises are also moments where we can push us to more powerful reconnection even. But it is also a decision, because if we decide to abandon ourselves in the loss of sense, we are disconnecting from the original source, from light. So this North Node at the end of times, as we know them, it is reminding us that we are spirit, energy, and matter. It is to know that we are here to make this great collective transformation, because the world, it is not in this ideal, with quotation marks, state, and perhaps it seems to be very far away from unity right now, but what is apparent to the eye not necessarily as the truth. And while there are hearts willing to listen to their own call, there is nothing lost on earth. On the contrary, as I heard once to this Kabbalist, Mario Saban, the distraction has a limit. Self-distraction ends there, everything is over. But when we are constructing in the seeking of light, impulsed by the seeking of light, impulsed by love that is infinite. Thank you, everyone. See you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.